Today we'll talk about the webhook notification broadcast feature on EasySocial. This feature is extremely useful if you are using third-party CRMs, for example Zoho, Sell.do, Lead Squared or any other software that's out there. So we will show you how easy and fast it is to connect any third-party application with EasySocial so that you can send out notification whenever there's a new lead which is created in your system or whenever there's a new event which happens in your system. And based on the input that we receive from that particular software, EasySocial will trigger a particular message to that customer. So in the broadcast menu, you can either click on new campaign or you can click on the plus icon on the top left. So once you click this, let's give this a name. Webhook Shopify new order. And I'll keep this blank for now, and then I will use the last option, which is webhook notification, and I'll hit next. Now I will choose a particular template. So we already have a template called Woo order processing. So here you can see the message states, dear customer, your order with order number so and so having items and amount this much is ready to be dispatched. So we'll use this particular template and we'll hit next. So here we have the option to add tags whenever this message is being sent. At that moment, a particular tag can be applied. I'll leave this option as off right now. Next, we have another option called disable frequent requests, which means that webhooks sometimes trigger multiple events or multiple notifications for the same reason. So if I turn this feature on, so it will only capture the first event and it will discard all the upcoming events for the same repeated request for the next 10 minutes. So I'll turn this on and then I'll click on send now. So as I do that, it's going to create a particular URL. Now I can copy this URL and let's open Shopify in a new tab. I'll log into my Shopify account. I'll go to the settings option, which is available on the bottom left. Then let's go to notifications. Here you can see there's an option at the bottom called Webhooks, and let's click on Webhooks. Now click on create webhook. So now you can see there are events here. There's a huge list of events which take place on Shopify. So we have to find out the event which is most relevant for this message. So I can see there's an event called order payment. So as soon as somebody makes a payment for my order, then they should receive this particular message. So I had copied the URL from EasySocial. I'll paste this URL here, and here I will choose the latest webhook API version and I'll hit save. Now let's go back to EasySocial broadcast, and here we have to keep on waiting until we receive a new request. So there are two ways to go about it. So if I click here, there's a send test option which will give you a signal that this API is working. So we've received the information from Shopify. Now you can see all of this information is not available here. This was just a sample event. We want some real data. Okay, so we can actually go back on this and we'll leave this broadcast at this state. So here if you see awaiting response from remote application, so that means this broadcast is awaiting for an event to occur. Once this event occurs, in our case when somebody makes a purchase on Shopify, then this particular event will be received, and with this event will come a lot of data from that particular order. Now let's test this out. Let's click on Shopify again, and here we'll go to orders menu. Now let's create a new order. Now imagine your customer is actually making a purchase on your live website. I'm trying to mimic this by creating an order directly on the backend. I'll just look for a particular product. So let's say I want this item and I'll add this to my cart. is not. So I'll add another item to my cart and I'll choose myself as the customer. Okay, so I will click on collect payment and then select mark as paid, and then I'll click on create order. Let's go back to broadcast. So as soon as we created an order, we received an event notification, which means we have received a bunch of data from that particular order. So you can see these are all the fields which we have received, and in the brackets you can see these are the particular values which have been received. So you've got my contact email address, currency, the total amount. So I can use all of these information in this particular message to personalize it. So if we scroll up a little bit, the first thing that we need here is the contact number. So here we'll just map the contact number. So I'll look for phone, and if you see there's billing address phone field which is available. So I can either choose this or I can use customer default address phone. Whichever field I'm comfortable with, I can choose that field. Then there's another option available which is order number, and this is the first option here, order number. So I have to map it in body 1 parameter. So if I click on the response parameters, I can search for order number, and there it is, 1037, that's the order number. And if I scroll down further, then I have to map the items. So here let's look for items. I think I should rather look for quantity. So let's look for quantity. So you can see there are 2 items. One is the line item. 0 stands for the first object in my order. 1 stands for the second object which is there in the order. Okay, and there's a property called quantity. So I'll use this here. So it's going to tell how many quantities of the first item, and I also want to add quantity second item. So I want to do a total of both the items. So I can use a formula called calc, and I will put this in bracket, and in the middle I'll add a plus symbol. So what this is going to do is it's going to total both the quantities of the first item and the second item. So hypothetically, let's assume we do not know how many products a person is going to order, but we are quite sure it's not going to be more than, let's say, 5 items. So what I can do is that I can assume there are going to be multiple items here. I'll copy this, I'll paste it here, and this is going to be the third item, although it's not here in our order yet. But let's assume if a person has a lot of different items here, so with that assumption I can add more values here, so that my template message is ready to take at least up to 5 orders. You can take it up to 10. So based on the kind of quantity you expect from the customer, you can do a total of all the quantities per line item. Alright, so now let's go to the last amount, which is body 3, which is technically amount in the template message. Now let's look for the response parameter, and here let's look for amount. So when I search for amount, I'm getting multiple options here. The first one is 724.90, but if I scroll down further, there is current total price set, presentment money amount, which means amount after tax. So let's use this value, and whatever amount comes here is going to be after tax. Now with this, we have mapped all the details in this particular message, and we can complete this setup by clicking on finish setup. Now this campaign is absolutely ready. Let's create another order on Shopify just to check what we have done is working correctly or not. So let's go back to orders. I'll click on create order. We'll browse the products here. I'll add this item here and I'll look for the customers. This customer is going to be me. So I've selected my name here and then I'll click on collect payment. Mark as paid. Now let's click on create order. Okay, so the order is created. Let's go to broadcast. Let's wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, the message has been sent. I'll just check it on my phone. I've received the message and I've read the message now. So you can see it's updated here as well. And if I go to the chats, you can see I've received this message saying your order with the order number 1038 having one item and the value 1209 is ready to be dispatched. So this is how easy it was to map a particular message to any software that has a webhook option. Now this concept can be a bit overwhelming for the non-technical users, so I'll give you one more example. Let's go back to broadcast. Now in this example, I will show you how to map a particular message to an IVR service provider. Let's say you have a call center and somebody calls you and you're not able to pick that call up. So in that particular condition, you want to send them a particular message, just a polite message that we'll get back to you later. So this kind of setup we'll do with our own IVR system. So what we'll do is let's open another portal. And here we will log into our account. So this can be any IVR solution. So if you go to the API integration options, you'll find this here, webhook integrations. Here at the top, you have an option to create a webhook. I'll click here and I have to first go to EasySocial, create a new webhook, and I'll call this missed call. And in campaign type, I'll choose webhook notification and I'll hit next. And in templates, I will use a template message which looks like this. And then hit next and click on disable frequent requests and then click on send now. So this generates another URL. I'll copy this URL and then let's go to our IVR panel. I'll paste this URL here. Now, so each system might look a little different, but don't worry too much. They would have similar features. So here you can see there are different events. What I'm looking for is call report. And always remember to use the post method. And then you can click on create webhook. Okay, so the webhook is created. So let's go back to broadcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm calling my IVR number.
Official WhatsApp chatbot and automation platform, trusted by customers across 74 countries globally. Our office is currently closed. Our official working hours are Monday through Friday.
And now I've disconnected the call. So let's see if I get a webhook response. Let's just wait for a few seconds. So as you can see, we've received a response from our IVR. So you can see we don't have a lot of options here like the previous message. That is because in the particular template message, we don't have variables at all. So what we basically need to map here is the contact number. So let's look at the response that we've received from this event. So if you see, there's a source number. Now, if you notice, the source number does not have a country code. So in such cases, we might need to prefix the country code manually. As a standard practice, you must always prefix a country code to your number. In case there is no country code specified to the number, WhatsApp will try to send it to the right number, but there is a slight chance that it can get delivered to the wrong person, maybe somebody in a different country altogether. So that's why I would suggest that you always ensure there's a country code prefixed. So So if you look down, there's an option called conditional trigger. If I enable this option, then I can choose a particular value, and when that value gets exactly matched, only then this template will be delivered. So let's try and explore the options. So if I scroll down, there is a value called call duration, which is 0, and that is what I'm looking for. So when I make a call to this number and I'm not able to talk to any agent, that is when my call duration is going to be 0, and that is when I want to send this message to my customers. So I need to ensure that the talk duration exactly matches the value 0. Only in that condition this message has to be delivered. So I'll update this, and now I'll try and give a call on this number.
Welcome to EasySocial, official WhatsApp chatbot and automation platform, trusted by customers across 74 countries.
Now let's disconnect this and let's wait a little while. Okay, so you can see a new message has been sent and it's been delivered. And if I go to the chat menu, you can see this message has just been sent to me. Alright, so I hope now you have a better understanding of webhook notifications, how flexible this is, and you can use it with any application of your choice. Be it your CRM, ERP, a third-party software, anything that supports webhook can be integrated with EasySocial with no effort. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.